It's Saturday, the 19th of October. My name's Juan Brown. I'm out here at Dead Cow Playa, High Sierra Fly-In 2019 with an important update on the 737 MAX. Breaking news, the text between Boeing test pilots Mark Fortner and Patrick Gustafsson, if I'm saying that correctly, from 2016 has just been released to the FAA, and FAA head Dixon is very upset that this information has just got to him. Mark Fortner is the Boeing test pilot that was working on the 737 MAX program. He's currently a Southwest pilot, 737 pilot obviously. Mark is probably the reason why the FBI has gotten involved with the investigation at Boeing, as he has pled the Fifth Amendment, refusing to hand over information, though this text has just recently come out. But I don't think personally, after reading the text, this is quite exactly the smoking gun that folks are thinking it might be in the media, and as Congress prepares for their testimony on the 29th of October. And I'll explain why. We'll go through the text and I'll give you what I think is going on, what they're talking about in this text. Stand by. So let's get right to the text. I found this text on National Public Radio, a report on this. This is dated 11/16 of 2016. Conversation with Mark Fortner and Patrick Gustafsson. These are two of the Boeing test pilots working on the 737 MAX. It's noisy out here. It's the fly-in. Stand by. Pat Gustafsson says, you too, I just logged in to check my schedule. I have so much to do that I want to do the work from home. I just can't get stuff done in this office. Mark Fortner, this is 6:47 p.m. Now I'm locked in my hotel room drinking some Grey Goose vodka. Gustafsson, LMAO. Fortner, this job is insane. Gustafsson, so did you get anything done in the sim today, or was it the normal chaos there? Fortner, although it must be easy compared to work as a tech pilot for RYR, which I believe is Ryanair. I think Gustafsson is a former Ryanair 737 pilot. Gustafsson, well, it's different here. We're pretty busy here for sure. Fortner, actually this one is pretty stable. Stand by. Fortner, actually this one is pretty stable, and I signed off some DRs today, designee reports, but there are still some real fundamental issues that they claim that they are aware of. Gustafsson, what I hated about Ryanair was the extreme pressure they put on people. Okay, that's good. Fortner, so I just need to start disregard. Okay, Fortner, 6:50 p.m. Oh, shocker alert. MCAS is now active down to M.2, Mach 0.2. This is the point where MCAS has changed. We discussed this in previous episodes here. Remember, the MCAS design was initially designed for high-speed stall characteristics in a higher speed modes of flight, and then the design changed and they decided that they need to incorporate MCAS in lower, slower corners of the envelope. And what we're seeing in this instant messaging is the lack of communication between engineers, test pilots, and program managers. So let's do that again. Mark Fortner at 6:50 p.m. Oh, shocker alert. MCAS is now active down to Mach 0.2. It's running rampant in the sim on me. At least that's what Vince thinks is happening. Now, he's not experiencing MCAS anomalies like what happened in the two crashes. What he's experiencing is the aircraft is trimming a lot more than he would normally expect in a 737. He's seeing what appears to be an increase in the volume of speed trimming of the 737 trim system. He's not experiencing an MCAS anomaly as we now know it. Gustafsson, oh great, that means we have to update the speed trim description in volume 2. See, they're talking about speed trim, which has always been a part of the 737 design and not necessarily a part of MCAS, though the two are related. Faulkner, now this is the part where everybody's jumping on the bandwagon on. Faulkner at 6:51 p.m. So I basically lied to the regulators, parentheses, unknowingly. Gustafsson, it wasn't a lie. No one told us that that was the case. And the case that Gustafsson, the point that Gustafsson is making is that these test pilots are not aware of the fact that MCAS has been changed from a high-speed regime portion of the envelope for high-speed stalls to a low-speed portion, the very low end of the envelope. This points out the lack of communication between designers, engineers, test pilots, and program managers. An institutional program at Boeing. Faulkner, still 6:51 p.m. I'm leveling off at 4,000 feet, 230 knots, and the plane is trimming itself like crazy. And I'm like, what? Gustafsson, that's what I saw on Sim 1, but on approach. I think that's wrong. Faulkner, granted, I suck at flying, but even this is egregious. The egregious comment is what the media is picking up on. And what they're talking about is the amount of trimming, or the automatic trim that the aircraft is doing with the speed trim system here on the MAX. They're not talking about MCAS anomalies as they know it. At this point, I do not believe these two test pilots are even aware of the fundamental MCAS anomaly that potentially exists in these aircraft, as we have since learned in the two crashes. Gustafsson, no, I think we need Aero to confirm what it's supposed to be doing. Faulkner, Vince is going to get some spreadsheet table to show when it's supposed to kick in. Why are we just now hearing about this? Gustafsson, I don't know. The test pilots have kept us out of the loop. It's really only Christine that's trying to work with this, but she has been too busy. Faulkner, they're all so damn busy. I'm getting pressure. Correction, Faulkner, they're all so damn busy and getting pressure from the program. Gustafsson, that is true. I wouldn't want to be them. Okay, it's time to log off. Faulkner, okay, later, man. Gustafsson, I'll work from home tomorrow. Be online all day. Later. Program pressures, lack of information, lack of communication from top to bottom. They're talking about speed trim issues at this point, and they may very well be talking about the design of the engineering cab, that is the simulator that they're using to test this new aircraft out. They may very well be talking about the simulator itself and not necessarily the whole design of the 737 MAX. So they need to get this information sorted out and find out exactly what are Faulkner and Gustafsson referring to in this instant messaging exchange. Nevertheless, this does not look good for Boeing. You saw the Boeing stock price tank Friday. This is the kind of information that Congress is going to get a hold of. What did he know and when did he know it? That kind of thing is going to be high drama on the 29th. But people got to understand the context of this conversation. We got to get to the bottom of what exactly are they talking about here, and it definitely shows a wider lack of communication between everybody at Boeing Aircraft. We'll have more as we get more information on this. See you here.